Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome to my studio. I'm Wendy from Wendy A. Diaz Art, and today I thought I'd take you into my studio and show you a little bit of my process when I start my abstract pieces. It's a simple technique, but it adds a lot of texture to your painting, and especially for beginners, it's hard sometimes to start your painting, and it's really hard to know where to begin. So let's begin and let's have some fun, okay? Come on. Okay, so I've already got you tilted down a little bit so you can see my canvas a little bit easier. This is an 11 by 14 canvas. I've toned it in a light gray already, and I put the black on the bottom. We're going to add a lot of texture to this canvas. It's so much easier when you add texture to your canvas first, and then you build upon that. So for beginners, this is a really great technique that you can use, and I welcome you to join me. All right, so I have some black already on my palette, and we're going to add some molding paste. I use this molding paste. It doesn't matter which one you use. Anyone will work. I'm just gonna take my palette knife, and I'm gonna take a little bit out of my jar, and it's about that much that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to mix that in. If you can see, I'm going to mix that in with my black. Just going to mix that really well, push it all around. There we go. Just make sure it's mixed really well. Okay, and so I'm going to pick up my paint on the end. You can see what I'm talking about on the end of my palette knife. And I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to just add my texture to the bottom. I'm just going to crisscross back and forth. It doesn't really matter how you get it on the canvas. You can use, actually, I'm going to turn my canvas around so that you can see it a little bit better. And I'll start at the top, and I'll work my way down and just crisscross. Like I said, you can use a plastic palette knife if you want to. It doesn't matter if you don't have that. You can use a credit card. There's many different ways that you can get this molding paste onto this canvas. There we go. And just move it all around. Just keep adding. I don't usually put molding paste on the sides of my canvas. I like to just paint my sides. So I don't like a lot of texture on the sides of my canvas. So here we go. We're almost done with the black. And I just push it right on there. There, that's a lot of texture on there now. And I brought it right up to that line too. So don't be afraid to do that. Got some really nice texture going on now. And I'll bring you closer to the camera so you can see this. You see all that texture? That looks amazing. I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to tip my canvas upside down. Actually, this is the way I actually want it, but that's okay. I'm going to wipe off my palette knife. Make sure you keep your palette knives nice and clean, so that you're ready to use it again. And I'm going to take my white, put a little bit of white on your palette, and do the same thing. We're going to take a little bit of our molding paste right out of the jar with our palette knife, and we're going to put it right into our white. We're just going to mix it really well. Mix it, mix it, mix it. There we go. Mix it until it's nice and smooth. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick up my paint on the back end of my palette knife, and I'm going to start with my crisscrosses again. And just add that texture right onto your canvas. Crisscrossing, and then I'm just taking it off the back of my palette knife. just so I can use it. And then pick it up again. And keep crisscrossing. Crisscrossing is a lot easier to do than just trying to get it straight across your canvas. You can do little strokes. If you have a bigger palette knife you can use and you can get more of the surface, that's fantastic. You can do that. I tend to like this palette knife because it's a little bit wider and I can really get a lot on there, but at the same time I can get these little strokes too that I can see a lot of texture in my canvas. So here we go. We're working our way down. Just keep getting it on there. Move it around. Don't be afraid. I do this pretty quickly too. You can get this done really quick. And if you run out, then you can mix some more. In fact, I'll probably end up mixing some more, because I put it on kind of thick and I like it thick like that. So I'm going to add a little bit more white. And then I'm actually going to wipe off my palette knife before I stick it into my molding paste, because I really don't want to contaminate my molding paste. So I'm going to take a little bit more molding paste out just like that. And I'm going to mix it into my white. I love using this technique. It's such a great technique to add texture to your canvas. And it's quick and it's fast. And I get some really great lines in my paintings. There we go. Just keep adding it wherever you feel that you need it. Now I have a bunch of it on. If you can see, I still have some of the molding paste. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to push it onto my palette, and I'm just going to scoop that up and mix that around. There we go. And then I'm going to pick it up again on the back of my palette knife. I'm going to turn my canvas so it's easier for me to work. So always make your life a little bit more easier to work with. You know, you don't want to be struggling when you're painting. Painting's supposed to be fun. So I'm going to bring this white right up to that line. Don't be afraid. Just get it on your canvas. This is the fun part. This is the part I love. This is the part you get to play and you can't mess up. You cannot mess up this. And I picked up a little bit of black on my palette knife, and that's okay because I'm actually going to move that around my canvas. I'm okay with that. There we go. There. Now I have a little bit of black. You can see it on my palette knife, and I'm going to take it and I'm actually going to push it around some of my white because I want to add, and actually I'm going to pick it up just a tiny bit. I put some more black on my palette knife and I'm going to push this around my white because I'm trying to add some depth to my painting a little bit and a little bit of contrast. There we go. Yeah, and once again, I'm gonna pick up my canvas and I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move it so it's easy for me. I want to make my life easier. I don't want to make it harder when I'm painting. Easy is better. It's a lot more fun when you make your life easier. Enjoyable too. Get a lot of joy out of painting. I do anyway. And I get a lot of joy out of people who purchase my paintings. They have them in their homes, and it brings me a lot of joy knowing that they love my artwork. And I get to share my artwork with people. There we go. So that looks great so far. I'll show you the white, what I did. So I added that gray, and you see all that texture in that painting now. Now that is a great painting for a beginner. Okay, so now I'm gonna add a little white to the bottom, just to add a little contrast. I'm just gonna pick up I actually have white on my palette anyway, so really I'm just gonna add that in just a tiny bit, crisscrossing wherever I want it. Just add that right in. And if I don't like it, I can pick up my black and I can go right over it and get rid of it if I think it's too much. There we go. Just keep adding. And you can let this dry and come back to it too. And if you feel as though you need more, you go right ahead and put more on. This is just a nice, easy technique I thought I would teach you today. Something fun. But to be honest with you, I mean, you could hang this painting just like this if you wanted to. I'm gonna tilt it. I'm going to turn it around one more time, and I'm going to show you all that beautiful texture. So there you go. So that is an easy way to get texture on your canvas, especially for beginners when they're starting their abstract work. Okay, so this is your finished product. It could be your finished product if you want to. If you want to hang it on the wall like this, you can. And see all that gorgeous texture, and there you go. Doesn't that look gorgeous? It kind of reminds me of a landscape a little bit with the sky and the land. So yeah, this painting actually would look amazing on a white wall or even a dark wall. It would pop. It would bring some contrast and some interest to your wall. So this is a great way to start your abstract work. I'm going to continue on with something else on this painting once it dries. I let this molding paste dry a little bit, so just so you know that. Sometimes I work wet on wet and sometimes I don't, so it depends on what I want to do. Okay? So it was fantastic being here with you today. Like and subscribe, that helps me out a lot. And I'll see you next time. All right, have a great day. Bye, everybody.